Hello, hello, hello. This is another episode of the Mental Threads Podcast, episode 136. I'm here with a special guest, a longtime friend over here, Giorgio Gbenyon. That's how you pronounce it, Gbenyon?
Yeah, it's Benyon. The G is silent. It's Gbenyon, but yeah, we don't say the G. That's the American way, you know.
Yeah. No, I'm all too familiar with the American pronunciation, African names. Used to call my name out in class, talk about tea souffle. It's like, what? They ain't even
They used to say that.
I'm like, that shit ain't even funny. They ain't no using the name. How you gonna get souffle? Like, they fucking, I don't know. You can't read, bitch.
Yeah, people been fucking my voice up for years. Like ever since elementary school, they've always been fucking my voice up. So I just tell them the G silent.
Yeah. No, see, yeah, sometimes it's better off to just put it like, I mean, safely ain't hard, safely. But it's just like sometimes they may say like Safil and shit. And I'm like, okay, that's not too bad, Safil.
That's what I thought. I thought it was Safili. I thought it was Tony Safili.
Yeah, Safili, you got it. It's Safili. But sometimes they'll say Safil because, I'm just like, okay, fine.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even start, but it's like, actually, my real government name is T. Dolake Safili. Like,
Dolake.
Tony was like a nickname.
What's that? Is that French?
No, it's not French. It's African as hell. It's two words put together in my language. It's actually the first part is say is actually what you would name your first son, like say firstborn son, and then the Fili part is like the morning dew on the grass.
Yeah, I have a cousin named Say. Actually, I have a cousin named Say and an uncle named Say.
Yeah, aren't you mono too?
I don't know on my dad's side, but I know on my mom's side is Bassa.
Bassa.
Yeah.
You might be mono then if you got cousins like that name Say and stuff like.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. My dad, I don't know if he's too into like the tribal stuff, but I know that his father's like my grandfather, his father, my dad's father, my grandfather is from Togo. So like I still have West African roots. I identify as Liberian, but I have other relatives in other parts of West Africa, so.
Oh, yeah, sure, that would make sense. Because your family is pretty affluent, right? Didn't your grandfather play soccer or something like that?
He played soccer, but I think he just played on a collegiate level. His main thing when he like got into his own was he was a diplomat. He was like working with politics. He was an ambassador for Liberia for a long time, sitting chair ambassador for them for about I think like 15 to 20 years.
All right, cool. Yeah, that would explain a little bit then. All right, on that end, because it's like there is a sense of influence. Then maybe like you might have like roots to people who might have been like American slaves then, because it was really the American slaves that were running the country.
No, I definitely do. My grandma, my dad's mother's grandmother, my dad's mother's grandmother, I believe, was one of the first Liberians to come back from America. She was living in Florida. She was born in Florida and came back. So she was a part of that like Marcus Garvey, everybody come back type thing. So yeah, she came back and started her family in Liberia. Yeah, so.
Yeah, well, that's cool. That's great that, you can carry your roots that far. Like, I'll be trying to do a family tree and everything. My folks are all indigenous people. So it's just like, like maybe there could be a chance where like there could have been like an American slave that kind of would have mixed in with somebody. Because like, I know like my grandmother Estella, actually, my grandmother Estella's eldest sister's first son was Thomas Kuompa. So it's like if you ever go into the history of the Civil War and everything, where Thomas Kuompa kind of fits into the whole thing, I'm not really gonna bring it all down because I'm kind of identifying myself too much here. But it's just, but it's like you really just know like from that like power and everything. A lot of that came from like a lot of the American slaves that were there.
Yeah, he was with Thomas. He was with Turner, right? Or no?
I know he was cool with what's his name, dude? Who was the guy that was Samuel Doe for a little bit, and then like
he was cool with Samuel.
Not cool, no, he weren't cool, but it's like they really had a dispute where they went against each other.
Yeah, Samuel Doe is like he's like one of the main ones who fucked up the country.
Yeah, no, yeah. I met his daughter one time years ago. Yeah, Veronica Doe.
Wow.
There's like a no grease party. Of all things. Small world. It's
Small
like,
world,
it's like
facts.
really, it's like, yeah, we're our freaking relatives or enemies with like, yo,
Yeah,
this Greek party.
our relatives were trying to kill each other, but okay.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it's like, yeah, there's no grease party. You look at that art right there, it's just like, it's so weird because it's like really like there was no reason any of that shit should have went down. Like really dead ass. Like they really could have given more opportunities to the indigenous people to actually have a say in how the country was ran because like, you know, they were citizens just like anything. Regardless if you believe in it, they were able to, you know, they got a voice too to make all this stuff work together. Like that's how countries should approach these situations. You know?
Yeah. Nah, yeah, it definitely should have been handled better. It should have been handled better, but you know, back then things were just things were different back then.
Yeah, man. Have you ever seen videos from like how Liberia looked in the 1970s, 60s and stuff? We really had our shit together for a while, you know, for a little bit, you know, like First Republic in Africa, we were really making things okay. But then it was just like, you know, then all that Civil War shit happened and then.
Yeah, we were on our way. We were definitely on our way. But the sitting president at the time who was running the country, he pissed off a lot of indigenous people, and that's what started the war.
Yeah, man, but for them to take it to that degree, they kind of went over at the top. Like you got to admit, just a little bit over the top.
I mean, I definitely because I'm a relative of the Talberts.
The Talberts, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm close with like my aunt is a Talbert. Yeah, so I'm close with a lot of like of the Talbert family. So like, I mean, I know the whole like if you want to break it down, we can break it down. But
might as well, because I feel like a lot of people don't realize because there are other countries out there with civil war and everything happened to ravage their countries too. Like Rwanda's one of them for sure. Yeah. But Rwanda bounced back, and now they're like kind of like the Singapore of Africa.
Well, I feel like the reason why Liberia didn't bounce back from it because there was a lot of foreign entities messing with like they were like playing a political game. Like America was playing this game, Europe, the UK was involved. They had what's the word I'm looking for? They had like a stake in Liberia. Like they had interest in it, so they wanted the war to go a certain way, and you know the reason why we didn't bounce back was because of what's his name? Miles Turner?
Miles Turner.
Or is it, I don't know if it's Miles Turner, but I know Mr. Turner. I know that's his last name. Charles Turner.
Or Charles Taylor?
Charles Taylor, sorry.
Yeah, if you saying Turner for like Timmy Turner, I'm like, what? I'm looking at you like, what?
Yeah, Charles Taylor, yeah. So, yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but he was he was groomed and like molded and what he was given these ideologies, and when he was given these ideologies, he was sent by the CIA, U.S. government, because he was living in America at the time in Boston. He was sent by the CIA, U.S. government, along with that sitting president, the woman.
Oh yeah, Aline Sirleaf.
Yeah. He was sent with her into Libya, and they were training. They were doing military training. Basically, the CIA trained them in Libya on how to overthrow Samuel Doe. Yeah. So once Samuel Doe took over Tolbert, and Samuel Doe stood for the indigenous people, there was like a lot. There wasn't the country wasn't stable. The country was in turmoil at the time, so they sent Charles Taylor in there to kind of like bring stability. But when he
quote unquote stability,
quote unquote, you know, but when they sent him in there and to do all that military training, they showed him certain things, and then he took that and just ran with it. You know, he brought in like a lot of child soldiers and he did a lot of bad things, but he was still fighting. He was still trying to, you know, his main thing was education. He wanted to educate the country. He was trying to do what Tolbert was doing, but the way he went about it was just very violent, you know. So
and fucked up, because come on, getting child soldiers and everything and saying it's a good thing. Like I know, especially like for Africa as a whole, we grew up a lot faster and everything. But dude, like, come on, like these kids were not That's just no. There's no reason you should hold even an AK-47.
No, it was
taking people's lives away and talking about some for education. You know,
it was definitely messed up. It was just like it was definitely messed up, and I'm not trying to like downplay it. It was definitely messed up. But my thing is like the idea what he was trying to do was a good idea because he wanted to seize power so he could kind of like enrich or uplift the citizens of Liberia, but he was trying to just only uplift a certain type of demographic or a certain type of citizen. He wasn't really gears towards indigenous people. Yeah, he wasn't like helping everybody. And I'll go back to Tolbert. What Tolbert's ideology was to educate the common Liberian, to educate the kids, and he was trying to make Liberia more independent by he wanted to, instead of importing rice, he wanted to export rice. He only wanted to use the country rice, the rice that they grew. And the indigenous people didn't like that. And that stemmed from a lack of education because they didn't understand that they didn't understand a self-sustaining country could have more leverage on a global field. They didn't understand that. They said he was telling people like we're importing all this rice. We're buying all this rice. We're buying rice from different countries when our main crop is rice. Why are we doing that? You know what I'm saying? So he put a tariff on rice coming from out of country. He put a tariff on that. And the indigenous people didn't like that. They just saw it as, oh, this man, he rich. He think that we can't afford this rice, or we don't want this rice. He's like, the indigenous people are basically saying we don't want the country rice. We don't want the rice from the country. We want our own rice. And the tax that he put on the rice that was coming from out of the country was like adding fuel to the fire, So that's what kind of started Samuel Doe, and that's what enraged him to take power. So when Charles Taylor came around and grabbed power, it was just a lot of bloodshed, just a ton of bloodshed. We was already coming out of bloodshed, and then we have another like dictator who is taking the country in blood. You know what I'm saying? And one of the main things that I didn't like that that America did, and CIA and the UK did to Charles Taylor after he had seized power, is they indicted him. NATO indicted him, but they indicted him, but he was basically sent on a mission from the CIA. You know what I'm saying?
And then y'all be like, "Oh no, we didn't know this, man." It's like,
so y'all basically saying because he was doing this for years. The Civil War didn't end in one night. He was doing this for years. So if he was operating in a way that they didn't want him to operate, they would have just told him to stop. Maybe they did. I don't know. But
highly doubt that.
Yeah, I highly doubt it.
But wait years to tell people what not to do.
Exactly. So I say that to say this: they indicted him, and then he made a deal with NATO, and he was like, okay, what they wanted to do is they wanted him to step down, and they wanted to put him in jail. But he was like, look, I don't want to go to jail because I did what you guys told me to do. I took control of the country. That's what y'all told me to do. I took control. They indicted. They didn't. So they came to an agreement that instead of indicting him, he would step down and he will leave Liberia. So he went to go live in Nigeria. I think like 5 years later, they went and got him in Nigeria, and now he's sitting in a UK prison for life.
That sucks. I mean, it was still pretty shitty because, like, keep in mind, I'm indigenous people, and I could understand to a certain degree because I don't want to talk about like down my people, but it's like lack of education could really make or break anything. Like, that's like the difference maker with everything. You know, like you see it with the Nazis in Germany and everything. Why did their economy fuck up? Oh, they blamed it on the Jews. And it's just like even like with the whole Civil War situation in America and everything. You know, they had like people who were owning slaves, but they weren't fighting the wars. They were forcing all the others, other people to fight the wars for them.
Yeah,
it's
not even like so much of a lack of education. It's just the ideology a country has. Yes. It's hard to change that. So when you try to change it, and a lot of like death and bloodshed comes out of it, it just makes for like a bigger mess, you know?
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know, maybe there could have been some things that probably could have been avoided over the years and everything. Because it's like when a lot of Black Americans came to Liberia, they already had this sense of just like, a superiority because it was installed because of the Americans. So we're noticing a pattern of America's influences screwing us over.
Right.
A lot. And it's just like, now we're at a place now where we got a new president, and George Weah, one of the best football players.
One of the best soccer players. I don't really know too much about.
No, it's no problem.
Yeah, I don't really know too much about George Weah, but I do know that he is a sitting president. There's been a lot of allegations of stealing money and things like that, but
he's a 6th grade graduate.
For real? Oh wow, that's as high as he's been. Yeah, no, that's fucked up. But I mean,
but he still became like the world's best soccer player at one point.
Yeah, he was really good. He was a really good.
That's almost like getting Hulk Hogan to be like the president of this country.
I mean,
maybe Michael Jordan might be a better choice. I'm just saying, like, at least he graduated university. Like, shit.
No, I think I mean, shout out to George Weah, man. He's doing his best.
He's doing his best for a 6th grade education.
Yeah, he's doing his best. Shout out to him. And his son is in the
USA team, which I think is great. You know?
Yeah, but he doesn't claim Liberia like that.
A lot of people can't claim like their home country, like when they're like playing for other sports. I mean, for Liberia's case, I don't know, because like I'm gonna be a Liberian till the day I die. You know. Like, even in my IG name, Liberian Toast Crunch, that's the first thing. But everything is just Liberia. Because I feel like there's a lot of work to be done. And like, for us, the diaspora, the children of a post-Civil War Liberia, sent to this country, to work and, do what we got to do. Whether if it comes in the form of Quiddy Pay, joining the Colts, or Timothy Way playing on the U.S. team, or whether you want to be a doctor, businessman, whatever you want to do to kind of like probably set the standard in America to at least bring some kind of revenue, some kind of profit, or learn something that could definitely like, fix our country. It's going to be a step-by-step process, Giorgio.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen overnight. That's years of Civil War and dysfunction.
Yeah, that's decades of work that we have cut out for us. It's not really something that's going to get fixed overnight. But, I mean, there's hope, though.
Yeah, there's definitely hope. I mean, I did past episodes with my grandfather and his brother and everything. I know, like, my Uncle George definitely spoke on some things because he teaches at the university in Liberia and everything. And they just have certain ways of, like, how they see things and everything. Or, maybe we just need new leadership. Well, I definitely need something more progressive. And but at the same time, still grounded by certain values.
I feel like that's what Tolbert was trying to do. But I just feel like the way he went about it, the tariff is really what made everybody, kind of pissed off and take a step back was like, well, do we really want this guy to run our country? Because like as far as like Samuel Doe, like my family is like we're like forever scarred from what he did, because he actually like one of his generals, like his people actually murdered like one of my uncles.
Yeah, well, you're preaching to the choir here. He ate my cousin, my first cousin, Thomas Kuenpa.
Yeah,
he ate him.
That's crazy.
That was it.
Yeah, they
did way too much, bro. Like,
yeah, they were doing. It was kind of like ISIS. They were doing like public executions and things like that. So,
and they sweep a lot of that under the rug. Like, people don't realize how America has literally forsaken our country.
Yeah.
The little America that is in Africa and everything, the one they send all those U.S. slaves to, which is really just a reflection of them not giving a fuck.
Right.
But it's like, like we're still your child to a certain degree. Like a republic of, you took people from Africa to build your country. You sent them back, and you had no notion of trying to like build them up for anything. They just had to do everything on their own.
Yeah,
which they did. They're doing pretty well. And then when shit just you want to take more advantage of everything, you know what I'm saying? That's too much.
Yeah, it was really it's just a messed up. Somebody needs to make a movie on it and really I think Blood Diamond
was probably the best way.
Yeah, but Blood Diamond was a little bit because it didn't like focus on the politics. It kind of was just on the diamonds, and it was trying to make it seem like diamonds was the reason. It was, but I mean, diamonds did play a role in it.
It was resources. It's all about resources and them not valuing the resources, because there's so many things in Africa as a whole that the world needs. There are materials in your cell phone right now that come straight out of Africa, and yet you look into Africa and it's like
you just see it as a dump
for no reason. But that's the worst part. There are other parts where there's mansions and everything. They exist too.
Yeah,
but it's like at the
they don't show those parts though.
Don't like to, but it's just like just to make it seem they ain't got shit, but they got shit there. They just never get compensated for anything.
Facts.
That's what the education system screwed up on that end. Because I swear, if we actually knew how much we play a stake in these countries, without Africa, everywhere collapses.
You're right. That's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact.
We know that.
Yeah.
Seriously. But they don't want to paint that picture, because then they have to fess up for a lot of the shit that they really put a lot of our people through.
Yeah.
And then, America doesn't want to look like the bad guy. Ever.
They never want to look like the bad guy. They always, they kind of like, they're the country that throws the rock and hide the hand,
Literally, especially in Libya with a Gaddafi and everything wanting to invest into the coin. Mm-hmm. He wanted to push,
Obama was responsible for that one, right? Right? Nah, for real. Let's talk about it.
Seriously, because it's just like
Obama made that call to do that in Libya.
And literally, Gaddafi wasn't trying to look. Libya went crazy after Gaddafi died and everything. Yeah. Like, literally, he was trying to push to improve the country. He was doing just a fine job. Dictatorship isn't always the worst thing, as long as you really have your people's interests at heart.
Yeah, I just think like when you're an outside country and you're trying to create some type of influence, you have to just do it very subtly, because when you do something like that, if you do it the wrong way, it can end very badly. Yes. You don't really see a lot of countries where it's even been done effectively. Mm-hmm. But I feel like if you're trying to create some type of influence, you should first try to give something, so you can create some type of leverage, instead of just trying to say what you want and then just say like, okay, if you don't do this, I'm gonna take out your leader. Like,
yeah. I mean, but they had the power to do so. The nuclear bombs and everything of that nature. It's just really just a matter of just like really applying that pressure. Because like when you live in a world where it's like where fear and power is like really like everything. Mm-hmm. That's what's gonna happen. It's just like that's how they're going to administrate things of that nature. This country literally is where it's at right now, all through fear and power. The power to put slaves on a boat. The fear that instilled in them to work in a plantation until they drop dead, no matter what type of humiliating, fucked up experiences they had to go through,
right?
And everything. We just talk about it now. Like, we didn't realize that we're literally sitting on the same soil as a lot of these people who suffered and they're just buried. Like, like they didn't even have a chance. You watch Roots and it's just like, like, wow. Like, this was life for people.
Right.
You had to wake up one day and your sibling was going to be given away. You would never see them again.
Never. They're on a whole different, they're across the world. They're being taken across the world. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about.
Like when you realize like how messed up that is.
And then another thing that people don't realize is like we were in slavery longer than we were out of slavery. Black Americans, like we've been in, like we were in slavery. If you're any type of West African, just consider yourself a slave, because that's where they were all coming from. You know what I'm saying? So we were in that for like 400, 500 years, like 450 years. Because there's even slaves in the 1930s. They don't talk about that. There was places that still had slaves in the 1930s.
Mm-hmm.
So if you say that, if we're saying that the last slave, there was no slave, there was absolutely no slaves up until like there was absolutely no slaves back until like 1929 or 1928. We're saying that that's when the last slave was set free. We've been out of slavery for less than 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we haven't even been half of the way. We haven't even been half of the way that we were in slavery.
Literally.
So that's kind of like crazy to think about. I remember I was in an African American studies class in high school, and when I realized that, I was like, wait a second. So you mean to tell me the 1600s, the 1700s, the 1800s, and a little bit of the 1900s we were enslaved?
And they make it seem like, oh man, come on, man, that happened forever ago.
That happened forever ago. It wasn't even. Oh, it was just like 50 years. Like no, bro. It was literally like our 4 or 5 generations. 4 or 5 generations. You go back 2 generations and you can find slaves. You can go back 2 generations and find slaves. That's not even a long period
Jim Crow
of time.
And everything. Even like the owner of the Cowboys just got ousted for bullying black kids for going.
Yeah, let's talk. What's that guy like? Jerry something?
I'm not a Cowboys fan. So
they were playing last night. I actually betted against them, but they won. I was fucking pissed. But he was like. I think that's so fucked up. Like so we see things like that. I think his name is like Jerry Joe or Jerry Jones or something like that.
Definitely not a racist name.
Nah, but it's like we can see things like that and just like sweep that under the rug. But Kyrie posts a video and then
about the Black Hebrews,
and then we have a whole list of things that he should do. So I'm like, so where's the list for this guy? Where's the list?
Dude was out there. So it's just
like I feel like Kyrie thing. What Kyrie did, yeah, like it wasn't smart. It was wrong. You posted a video. It's kind of fucked up. Okay, but it's not like it's not the worst thing he could have done. It's not like
he wasn't stopping people from going to school.
He's not active. He's not actively, fighting against the liberation of anybody. You know what I'm saying? He's for all people. But then you have this guy who's literally sitting outside protesting against integration. He's protesting. He wants to keep everything segregated. He's literally outside actively fighting against the liberation of black people. He's like, I don't.
Nobody cancels him. Nobody does nothing.
Like that's insane to me. Like you see him out there actively fighting against us. Like you have to have some real hatred in your heart to be one of those people who went out there and protest against integration. Like,
and they were raised on it. That's the thing. Like people were in the room's house talking about some like, yeah, we can't have them go to our school. And it's just like, what's the problem? Like, what's the issue so bad? Just little pigmentation problem. That's an issue. Where it's like that makes you uncomfortable.
It's really disgusting,
It's really dumb, but it's just like, that's just the shit we founded this country on. Like we just got a black president. Since then, we've had an orange president, and now we're having an Alzheimer's patient telling people what to do. And I'm like, I don't know, man. This country's weird. This country is weird.
It's crazy. Everything is
this generation's weird.
Sometimes I watch the news and I see like these current events, and I just feel like everything is backwards. But I mean, like, when you see something like that, and then like we're just supposed to forget about it. It's nothing. There's not gonna be any outrage on that. They're not gonna talk about it on the news. Nobody's gonna make a list of stuff that he has to do. What they're gonna say is, oh, that was back then. He's changed. He's the owner. He has tons of black employees. What do you mean? You know what I'm saying?
Employees.
That's what they're gonna say. That's the rhetoric that they're gonna put out. That's the narrative. That's what the narrative's gonna be.
One apology, not nothing, not even like, hey, I was in a different mindset then. At least something. But it's like there's no pressure. That's one thing I know. Like you can really just shit like that can pop up and it won't even like really destroy. Except for that one dude. Like what was he? The Clippers. The
Oh,
guy
yeah,
that
yeah,
owned the
yeah.
Clipper, and then like he had like this black girlfriend or something, which is weird. Saying, "Oh, I don't want to sit with those niggers or whatever," and then it's just like now it's like, what happened with dude? He lost his franchise, right?
Well, they made him they basically made him sell his franchise, but it wasn't like they didn't really make him do it. What happens, like the NBA has a policy where like the teams, they're not solely it's not a sole partnership, it's not a sole ownership, it's like a partnership with the owner and the NBA. So the NBA doesn't have the leverage to tell them like you have to sell the team, but what they can do is they can suspend them for a year and then like make it to where it's like very difficult for them to keep the team, especially like these guys buy these teams and they like the value goes up. They're getting money off the team every year, but the big payout is like when they sell the team, you know what I'm saying? Or they just keep it in their family. Like you see the Buss family, they've had the Lakers for years, so they just keep it in the family. But so what the NBA did was basically they just made it like really hard for him to keep the team. If he was gonna stay owner, the franchise was gonna lose and drop in value, and he was gonna have nothing because I'm sure a lot of his net worth was tied up into the Clippers. So the smart thing for him to do at that point is to sell the team, but they didn't make him sell the team. It's the same thing with the Suns head coach, because I think the same thing, not the head coach, but the owner of the Suns did the same thing. I think they found him did something racist, and then yeah, he did. I forgot what he did. I think he did the same thing. I think he said the N-word.
An American's history. American tale. I did something racist. I gotta pay for it.
You just flipped the page in your social studies book. I did something racist.
Remember that thing I said like about 200 years ago? I don't know, like fucking last year. That text I sent out, like I was drunk. I don't know. Being right, that's such a weird thing. I don't know. I can understand being like prejudiced due to something that you may have experienced with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like just to flat out just think that you're like superior to somebody else because of like reasons that are just like, I'm gonna just say shallow. Let's just say shallow.
Well, some people like there's these people nowadays where they'll justify their racism and like they call it like it's like a thing called geo theory. Like I forget exactly the name. It's called like it's like geo theory but it's like basically the theory of like geography, and different people from different parts of the world are better at different things. And so like basically people will root their racism in that ideology, and that will be like their excuse for being racist. Or like, oh, I think Asians are better at math. I think Africans and black people are better at sports and athleticism and music. I think white people are better at literature and reading and inventions and
we've invented a lot of shit
and machinery. They'll say shit like that, and then I'll just look at them like, so you guys just so happen to be the race that's good at everything that's valuable in the 21st century. Like that's just that you guys just so happen to be the race that's, you know, the best at that. You know what I'm saying? But people, that's what people will do. They'll say like, oh, I'm not racist. I just think different races are better at different things. Like, no, bro, you're just racist. Everybody, I can debunk that, because it's like if you put anybody, doesn't matter the color of their skin, white, black, brown, yellow, red, it doesn't matter. You put anybody in an environment, and you breed them in that environment, they can be good at whatever they put their mind towards. Yeah, whatever they lean towards, like, whatever they put their mind to.
So literally got Luka dunking on niggas and fucking the Mavericks.
Right. It's
Mavericks
like,
love them some white hoes.
It's not a white or black thing. People try to make it seem like it's a white or black thing. I mean, the reason why a lot of black people are in the NBA is because they don't have any other like
means except to use their athleticism.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying.
That's not even everybody. Like literally, it's like a very small portion of people that actually make it to the NBA. There are people who are so good at basketball but never make it to the NBA.
Yeah, there's different opportunities for
different people.
For different people, you know, people of color. That's one of their biggest. That's one of their biggest opportunities, because like you don't see like a black kid. He doesn't. A black kid goes to school and
wants to be an accountant
and work at a hedge fund or something.
You don't even realize that shit till you're like older, till after high school.
Exactly. Yeah. He grows up and he sees, when he's growing up, he sees guys playing at the park. He's seeing other guys on TV that look like him who are playing sports. Yeah. So that's what he wants to do. He doesn't have a father who works at a hedge fund or works at the bank. So that's why you know, guys go out. That's why people of color go out and do things like that, you know, because that's the opportunity that they see. That's right in front of their face.
Yeah, seriously, opportunity, because they ain't got no birthright, no reparations, no nothing. So it's just like, you know, and that's the situation for a lot of people, not everybody, because there are some people who are able to at least grow up in an affluent African-American community. I know there's a lot of affluent African-American communities in Maryland in particular, and for sure. And a lot of that has to do with just like, you know, what their environment was like. Because it's like, you know, when you have you have a group of people that are willing to share wealth, or a group of people that are willing to work with each other to actually build something like, say, like a Black Wall Street, and everything, we could really take it to that degree.
Exactly.
But by the time we built that for ourselves, they burned the shit down. They never want to talk about it.
They burn it down. They never want to talk about it. Man, things like that, man. It's just like, it just goes to show, like, as soon as we start to get something, they fuck it up. They just come and they just mess it up, and they be like, oh, well, that was in the past. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, but regardless of what they do or however they do it, we still got to fall in with each other, though. At the same time, we know what the issues are. We know what the system is built on. We know the history. Let's start taking the steps to actually find the solution. Because Kanye West and even Kyrie can talk about Black Hebrew, this documentary. We can read every book ever. We know what it is. Yeah. We know what it is, bro. What's the solution? Because you can get on this press, all that money they lost, they could have reinvested it into freaking Flint, Michigan for their dirty ass water or anything.
Yeah,
all that stuff that they have, they got the money to do so. No one's stopping them from investing in the water they've got to invest in. You know?
Yeah, no, it's just we really. What needs to happen is there needs to be Black leaders that need to get together, and I mean it's starting to happen, slowly, and it's getting better, but it's still a lot of work to be done. I don't want, you know, anybody of color like to just get too comfortable and be like, oh, well, you know, there's a lot of opportunities out there for everybody. You know, I don't want to seem like I'm just out here, you know, making it seem like there's no opportunities for Black people. There's a lot of opportunities for Black people, African Americans. You could definitely, you know, build up from the bottom. You know, I know I've seen people who've been down bad, grew up in the worst conditions, and came up and still got, you know, something to show for it. So it's still opportunities out here, but as a people, we're just lost. And I feel like we need guidance as a people. You know, we don't have those same leaders that we had in the 60s and the 70s. You know, those guys aren't coming out here like that anymore,
because they make sure of it. You know, as soon as like Malcolm X was taken out, then the Black Panthers start rising up, doing a whole lot of positive stuff, free breakfast. They started WIC. You don't realize that? Black Panthers started WIC, the WIC thing, you know, to kind of help people of low income get certain groceries. They started WIC program. Black Panthers did this, not KKK, none of them. Why are the Black Panthers not here, but the KKK still here?
Yeah,
name one positive thing the KKK has ever done.
If you want to get the gist of how America, like how the CIA infiltrated the Black Panthers and like basically just disassembled them, watch what's that movie called? What's it called?
They got a PBS documentary on it?
No, it's a movie. It's called America. Oh, I forget what it's called. It's like America, but it's like KKK or something like that. I think
it's like a documentary.
No, it's a movie. It has that guy from Get Out in it.
Oh, Oh,
You know
okay.
what I'm talking about?
Daniel Kaguya, something like that.
Yeah, he was
I
in.
know you played with Kabi in the first Black Panther.
In
By the way,
Black
you
Panther.
check out the new Black Panther movie yet?
Yeah, I did.
Shit's fire.
It's good. I like it.
Yeah, but I mean, that movie made me feel kind of dreaded. Like, cause it's like, bro, like he really is dead. Like, bro, and
Bro,
it was
it's
just,
so
like, after his
sad,
first
man.
damn movie, bro. Like, what we got a black superhero.
No, but he was in a lot. I've always been a fan of.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, hold on. I've always been a fan of Chadwick Boseman.
From the dang Jackie Robinson movie.
Jackie Robinson. He played what's his name? James Brown.
James Brown, yeah.
He played he was in a couple other movies, like he was in a movie like where he was like, it was kind of like Training Day, well, not Training Day, it was kind of like it was a Training Day because I think it was like a cop. Yeah. But yeah, he's been in a couple movies. I've always been a fan of his, man. And just I never knew he had cancer. So like,
and then people were clowning dude for being skinny. I thought he was just getting ready for another role, but then it's just like
I thought he was getting ready for like a role where he was gonna be sick or something. But nah,
like
that's
50 Cent did in that one movie.
Yeah, like that shit is so sad.
And it came out of nowhere too. I was really hoping that they would make him into one of the anchor heroes for the MCU moving forward.
He was like, that movie like was one of their highest grossing movies. So I mean, he definitely was like a big star in the MCU.
Yeah, but like, because I know the Iron Man, like, character is pretty much written off after like the whole Endgame situation. I thought it was gonna go to Doctor Strange and freaking Black Panther, and then maybe some other guy, and that would be like the big three going forward. Because there was like Captain America, Iron Man, and like Thor. Mm-hmm. So maybe like him, and then some other person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I was saying I like good, because now I got a reason to get invested in this shit for another day. Because I was like, I'm kind of tapped out, right? I'm not going.
Yeah, I'm a little. I don't know if I'm tapped out yet. I want to see like what's their new. I want to see the next like Avengers. Yeah. Like I want to see like the new how they bring all these superheroes together again. Yeah. I'm not gonna tap out completely until I see like Secret Wars and all those other movies that's coming out. But I am kind of a little tapped out with Marvel, just because they're trying to like bring so much stuff in, people are kind
of feeling iffy, but I know a lot of people didn't like the She-Hulk thing. I think there was nothing wrong with it.
The She-Hulk is like a chick show, so girls who like superheroes that gravitate to that. I mean, it wasn't for me. I didn't really like the show, but the way they set it up wasn't like terrible. I watched it, so it wasn't like super bad.
It just wasn't supposed to be taken serious. Yeah, it was just another show.
Yeah, it was just like it's like
expand the universe.
Yeah, it's just like a sitcom type of show. It's not like Falcon and the Winter Soldier or any of those high action shows. Like it's really like a chick show. Like it's like Sex in the City with superheroes. You know?
And it was just like that's how she was in the comics. I assume I ain't read none of the fucking comics. I got ADHD.
I never was watching I never read She-Hulk comics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said. But from what I've heard from even other people, it's like that's how she was in the comics. Like, why are you upset about how she's written if she's written exactly how she's supposed to be written?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna be like one of those guys and be like, oh, the show is terrible. Like the show is decent. The show is okay.
Get a fucking life. You're complaining about a damn show.
But the reason why like I'm kind of tapped out a little bit with Marvel is because like I'm not anti anything. I love everybody, but I just don't like all the LGBT rhetoric in there.
You're not fucking with that?
I'm not. I mean, honestly,
I'm kind of indifferent about it at this point because the way how we're going, like they're gonna shove it in everything.
Yeah, they're gonna. I know they're gonna shove it in.
I would just say, just don't watch it.
Yeah, it's not like I don't like. I can still watch. I can still watch it. I'm just not like. It doesn't.
I feel like they're kind of overdoing it.
No, I just feel like they're kind of forcing it.
Yeah, they're always forcing it. Like remember how Cristiano Ronaldo and everything, like the whole band on his arm, the whole like love everybody thing. The whole LGBT. He refused to do it or whatever, and then they like got on him for it. Like it's like, dude, it's his choice, his body. If he wants to wear a band or not, you can't force it on the people. Like,
right.
It's a behavior. Like whatever you want to do, like do whatever you want to do. It's your business, But it's just like
I just don't. I mean. I don't know, man. I feel like you save that stuff for shows like Euphoria and those other shit. Because I like shows like that. I
like Euphoria. I feel like they tackle it a little bit better.
That's what I'm saying. Like I like shows like that. Like like, I didn't even know that girl was trans in the show, but when I found out, I was like, okay, that's cool, like that makes it more interesting now, because like I can like get an insight to that world, you know what I'm saying? But don't shove it in like the superhero shows, especially when those people weren't like that in the comics, because now they're starting to come out with comic books, like they're making Spider-Man gay.
Which one? What, they're making Spider-Man gay now?
Yeah, in the comics, yeah.
Which one?
In the new comic, they still make Marvel comics.
Not Miles Morales.
No, Peter Parker.
Peter Parker's gay now.
Yeah, they're making him gay.
With who?
I don't know.
Dude,
I saw the comic drop. I was like, I saw a review of it. I was just like, okay.
Okay, they're doing too much. Just make new characters, bro. What's the problem?
And I think Disney is coming out with like their first movie.
Oh, Agatha.
The
Agatha one. I think I read somewhere it was like this was gonna be the gayest one. I'm like, why is that a contest?
They was like, they were like they're gonna get a gay Disney animation film, which I guess it's cool. Some kids, are like that.
Yeah, it's no problem. Like it's just
no problem. I just don't like to see it in my superhero movies.
I mean, because it's like, what if it's like black and white or like a spectrum or whatever, like the situation is. It's like, what really got me is like, because I watched Black Panther and I think there was like one scene or whatever. I think one of the Dora Milaje was like
well, in the
why?
Actually, in the comics, one of the Dora Milaje, they are lesbian. Really? Yeah,
one of them. Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a relationship. Like the two ones that have that suit on. Yeah, they're in a relationship, I believe.
Okay, in that case, I get it. But it's like at the same time,
in the comics, they are.
But if you know like how the culture is set up in Africa, that's what I'm saying. At least be respectful of that culture.
Yeah, that shit do not fly in Africa.
Don't do that. Like, cause that's not fair.
That shit does not fly in Africa. We are like you just said. Like, we are not progressive in that way. We need some more time. Let us like kind of get
maybe
into
300 years.
Maybe 300 years from now, we might be accepting of that. No, I'm playing.
No, I mean whatever it is. My thing was that kind of took me off guard in the theaters. Cause I'm like, oh come on now. It's just. I know in the comments, but it's like in the cinematic. Because other people are gonna watch that who don't read the comments.
I don't know. It just makes.
I didn't even know that.
It just makes me think of like, what are they really trying to do? Like, what do they do? Are they really trying to make like more people like feminine? They want people to be gay now? Or?
I'm not really. I don't think there's really so much an agenda per se. I know there's an agenda to that degree where it's just like it's not they want people to be gay per se. I think like they're trying to make it where it's just like it's more noble so people who already are in the higher up position, so it could be more accepting for them. So the more accepting it is, the more people wouldn't care. Which is like, it's nobody's business regardless who does what wherever. It is just like, the obsession over it's kind of giving you like, this whatever. If it doesn't matter, why y'all care so much? Like it's just.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm not against it, man. I'm like the new movie they're coming out with Disney. I'm not. I mean, I won't be watching it, but I'm not against it. You
talking about the Agatha thing or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not against it.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like they pretty much showed her just enough in the whole Scarlet Witch show. So it's like it's just.
No. It's not Marvel. It's like they're coming out with like just a Pixar film.
Oh, now I know you're talking. I think I heard something, and it was like they made the black kid gay.
Yeah, I think she's like indigenous. I don't know if she's black. She looks like Hispanic or like Native American in the movie.
I mean, it is what it is at this point. I mean, it's out of our hands or whatever. I mean, decades are gonna go. I'd rather just be indifferent. I'm on the indifferent side. Just people.
What is it? What does that mean? Like
indifferent?
Indifferent, like.
I just don't give a fuck. It's none of my business. So
I feel it.
It's just like I'm not gonna go freaking like with a fucking sign that says it's just like no,
I would never.
That's doing too much because you're already snitching on yourself on that degree.
I would never protest. I would never like spread any type of hate towards people. I don't want anybody to feel like they aren't allowed to be themselves.
Exactly.
So I feel like even trans people, I feel all people are just people, and everybody deserves the same opportunity as the next person.
Exactly.
Especially like if they're putting the work in. So I'm for all of it, but I just don't like it in my superhero movies.
I just don't make it forced and everything.
Yeah,
just let it be like, just let it be something where it's just like I don't want to say balanced or whatever, but just don't force it. Just don't make people like force into like stuff like that nature. Just let it just be like it is what it is.
If it makes sense with the plot, I mean, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just feel like they just be doing this. They just be
Just too
trying
much.
shit. Yeah.
Like just way too much, and it's just like even with superheroes and everything, like that's like a kids thing, like let kids be kids.
Right.
And
That's the main.
everything.
That's the main reason why, because kids are watching it. But yeah.
But then on the other hand, there could be some kid out there who has whatever going on with them, and then it's just like, okay, like now I see some kind of representation there
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
So it's like it's kind of 50-50 with that.
Yeah. I mean, it is. We living in a new age, so we all gotta kind of adapt.
To a certain degree, but in regards to like in this time frame, because I know back on the whole black like unity thing and whatnot, I wanted to speak about this situation with you especially. And I know moving on to current events and everything with the recent passing of I want to be sure to say it Shanquella Robinson and everything. Yeah, man. When I first saw that situation on the internet, I'm like, yeah, typical Charlotte behavior and everything. But it's just I thought it was mad corny though. It's just like y'all went to a whole nother country for vacation and everything, and you're still pissed off about whatever. You're trying to beat on people butt naked and everything like that. Like it was just a lot to deal with and everything. It's just like imagine like you had a daughter that literally went to a whole nother country with a group of friends you assume are their friends.
It's so heartbreaking.
And like literally they leave the country and leave her behind. I'm like, come on now. You can't even begin to like justify any of that. So like you just left your friend unconscious in a whole nother country for God's know what. In Mexico, Mexico of all places.
Not out of the country, not even in the country. It's crazy.
You didn't even try to stick with her to get on the plane again. Like just like and I'm like, damn. Like then you see all this stuff that just beat her and everything. And like coming from a person, bro, I've been in circles of bullshit ass people for a while and everything. And there's no liberating feeling than actually growing past that and everything and actually finding where you belong, the people that are kind of like think like you, have the same values as you, versus people that you fuck around with. You look back in time, it's like, man, I used to really fuck around with these trash motherfuckers, these idiots, and everything. But it's like for you to really stick around them so long that it becomes fatal. Yeah, that's sad, And it's like, I didn't know her personally. I've heard people knew her and whatnot, but like stemming in for like my side of things, like bro, it's like, dude, it's like there was really no reason for her to be around those people.
Yeah, nah, it's very sad. Just mainly because, just off the point, it's you got to pick your friends. You got to pick your friends carefully because this is like, this is like a situation where it was, like you said, it was fatal for her. That's why I always tell like my younger siblings, my younger cousins, like you pick your friends wisely, like that saying where they say, "Show me your friends, I'll show you who you are." That saying really rings true because, when you hang around people who are like just envious or just into bad shit, eventually that energy, rubs off on you. You don't want to just be hanging out with people. You want to, get to know them, get to know their ideologies, like where they stand on certain things, like what type of person there is, and that comes with time still. But like once you realize what the type of person someone is, it takes time, but it doesn't take too long. It doesn't take like longer than a couple months. You know what I'm saying? So it's really sad that happened to her. And yeah, I did. I knew her from like. I guess you can say like I kind of grew up with her because I had been going to summer camp with her since I was like 8 years old to like 11 years old, and we're the same age. I think she's like a few months older than me. Yeah, but I remember, I was always in camp with her. I was at Christ the King camp with her when I was younger. And I remember she would always say her name. I always ask her what can you say your name? Because I always had trouble pronouncing it. And she always just be like, just call me Quilla. Just call me Quilla. So.
Beautiful name.
Yeah, she has a really nice name. And I could understand why people were envious of her because I remember when growing up with her, she always had the fresh clothes, always had the new stuff, always had a new pair of shoes. Like every day she would wear a different pair of J's. Yeah. Like she was like one of those kids. She was kind of spoiled,
So she was like Nunu from ATL.
Yeah, basically exactly like that. But she was a sweet girl. She wasn't like one of those ratchet girls you always would see like fighting or like always just talking shit. She was just a sweet girl. She kind of like mind her business. She was cool, and then like when I had seen her again because I think she went to West Charlotte. I had seen her again, and she had, if I may be mistaken, but I believe she was like cheerleading, and she was doing like the morning announcements and stuff like that. So as she got older, she got like more serious, and then like I know she went to Winston, and like I've been up there a couple times. And like she was like I never seen her on the scene, even like after we had all graduated.
Yeah.
Like I never seen her like on the scene in Charlotte because I'd be outside like at the clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I never seen her like on that scene, so I knew she was like on her shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
because
saying?
you gotta stay out of the way in Charlotte. You can't be too familiar, because then people walk past you like once or twice and swear to God they know you.
That's what I'm
Bro,
saying.
that's why that's the most towering part about Charlotte, bro. You really gotta stick with like maybe a couple people, and that is it.
Yeah,
Because
the city is small. The city is small in that
it's
way.
big as hell though. But it's like we're bigger than Atlanta, but we'd be doing the most corny shit for no reason, and that's what really blows me, bro.
Yeah, like I mean, like so I can understand why people were like envious of her because she always did have like the nice things and stuff like that. So I can understand why why they were hating a little bit, but like it never calls for anything like that. Even fighting, like why do you want to fight somebody if you're really that envious or you really just don't like the person that much? Just don't be around them. And like when I got into it more and I kind of like started to learn like the story of how everything happened. So basically, like she went down there. She actually was like treating her friends to a trip, so she paid for the whole trip.
Damn.
You know, it was I believe 3 girls and
2 guys, I think. It was like a couple guys.
It was 4 girls, including her, and then 3 guys. And I don't really know the guys like that. I know one of them used to be around like the university area a lot. And like I don't even know his name, so I'm not really saying no names. But I mean the internet already knows. But yeah, so he used to be around the university area a lot, and I would see him with like people I know. So like I seen one of the guys before, and then the other guy looked familiar, but I didn't really know anybody. I just knew her. You know what I'm saying? That's the only person I knew by name. So they all went down there. And I guess what had happened is they got into it. I don't know like what set it off or anything like that. But it was the dark-skinned girl. The main 2 aggressors, from what I'm hearing, is like the dark-skinned girl and the girl that looked Hispanic. I think her name's like Winter or something like that. Yeah, so those 2 girls, they saying like those 2 are the main aggressors. And my thing is like, okay, like they were fighting. And it happened. They said the light skinned girl slammed her on the head.
Damn.
Yeah, and like they said like after that she was like unresponsive, and they said after that they took like her credit card and the money that she had brought with her on the trip, and they had went out to the club. So I guess like they beat her up, just left her there, and took her money, went to the club, came back, put her in her pajamas while she was still unconscious, put her in her pajamas, and then in the morning they called the paramedics.
Wow, dang. As soon as they left her to say they just took money from her.
Yeah.
Damn, envy, bro. They didn't even care about her well-being. They paid for them to come down there. Dude, Charlotte is wild, bro. You can't make no friends. No. I mean, you can make some friends, bro. But even then, it's just like you got to make the right friends, bro. You got to be friends with people that are on their shit about something, bro. You can't be friends with people who don't do nothing, bro. Because like they will 100% like feel some type of way about you doing something. Like I know that from experience.
Yeah, you gotta you really have to. What I like to do is I like to see what kind of home people come from. Like if they come from a good home, or like I know like their mom is like a good mom, they don't put up with that bullshit, you know. Then I was like, okay, I can like be friends with this person because they come from like the same background as me. I try to be friends with people who come from like similar backgrounds as me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the envy. The envy is too much in that story, and it's just so sad because like, you know, when you see like a young black girl, you know, trying to get her, like, I mean, she had her shit together. She had like 3 businesses. She was braiding hair. She had an online clothing boutique, and she was And what else did she? And she was selling hair too. Yeah, so she was doing all these things, and like, you know, she's building her wealth. She, you know, she's creating capital for herself so she can be able to, like, you know, live and create a life for herself. But you know, those so quote unquote friends, you know, just robbed her of all of that. You know, now everybody's grieving her. Their father has to be in this holiday time, and what a terrible time to lose somebody you love. Like,
No, seriously.
like Thanksgiving, he can't see his daughter.
Christmas can't. New Year's can't. Left behind in the last year.
Yo, that is so sad. I mean, just imagine the pain. Like that. Pain, that is, you know, that's just something I just feel I can really like just feel so bad for him, you know, because I mean he really got robbed of his happiness, you know. She just wanted to go to Mexico, have some fun, but ended up losing her life because of some envious people and it could have easily been prevented, you know.
Yeah, man, no, seriously, no, really, man. It's just like coming from someone who lost a loved one this year, and like, you know, seriously, at least I had the solace and like, okay, he was 72. He lived his life. My grandfather lived a full life. Right. Got to see his grandchildren. I was the one grandchild he saw graduate. That's a blessing. That's my gift to him also. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's just, you know, taking other people's life, other people's kids' lives, and just like, you know, we're all connected to somebody. Right. We all come from a family. Even the most shitty people, as, you know, selfish as they are, they got people that would grieve over them too.
Even Jeffrey Dahmer had people who loved him.
Let's not bring up Jeffrey Dahmer on this, please.
No, but I'm saying though. I mean, we're not gonna bring him up. But I'm saying, like, even somebody as sinister and as hateful as that can have people that like love and still go hard for him. So just think about this young black girl who never like did anything to anybody.
Probably didn't even pick on nobody. Nothing.
Yeah. When we were in summer camp, she was the nicest girl. Like, she was so nice, yo. She was so nice, and people would just like kind of like I knew people would hate on her because of all the stuff she had.
Because she was like a darker skinned girl and everything. But it was very much loved as how she was, and probably had a pure heart.
Yeah, she was pretty though. She was definitely beautiful.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with being dark skinned. You could be a dark skinned woman and still be beautiful like yourself, and everything. Yeah. No, seriously. And, you know, it's the fact that we even got to say that. It's like, you know, but we always have to actually put that out there and everything. There are people who do have a sense of superiority based on the colorisms and everything.
Yeah, colorism is definitely a real thing. But just speaking on, you know, just the fact of like black unity, that should never happen. Like, where you're killed by your own people, especially people that you know, like they know you, and it's not really like you guys were comfortable enough to go on a trip with her, so like why do all of this extra stuff, you know? Like it's like it's given like you're just ungrateful, and like it kind of feels like a setup, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just like you said about, you gotta be with people that are more like your background and everything. When I always had issues at these predominantly white schools, from J.M. Robinson to fucking Queens Grand to fucking I mean, OLA wasn't that bad because we're elementary school kids, so it's just like all y'all care about just having fun and screwing around. Like literally, like all we did was laugh and screw around all the time. So, but it's like,
we didn't know race at OLA. I could say
we were aware of it, but it wasn't like nothing.
For me in elementary school, I wasn't I never felt like singled out.
Yeah, no, seriously, or anything.
Yeah, except like, you know, like we were talking about.
Yeah, with the whole, like early before we even hopped on, we were having a conversation at education where they would literally there's some stuff going on in the background.
Nah, it'll turn off.
Okay, but anyway, yeah, it's how they like literally separated me and Giorgio and Boris, like Boris, and oh, you still talk to Boris? Oh, okay, cool. I haven't spoken to him in a while. And like some of the other black kids, like they would literally separate us and put us in this remedial class. And he said he needed it because he had a speech impediment. I didn't know why I needed it. Like, I know maybe I was kind of slow in the class, but it's like I didn't think I was really slow. I just didn't care. when I'm really looking back at it now.
Tony, I'm not gonna lie. Back then, we were like, we weren't doing well in the classes. I remember, like, I can remember, like, I think I was doing better than you, and I wasn't doing that good.
I mean, in my case, I guess it was reading comprehension because
that's all it was for me.
Yeah, because as soon as like I get by a couple sentences, bro, I start spacing out, bro.
I swear,
like
that's exactly.
That was like the height when we had Toonami with Dragon Ball Z and shit like that.
Yeah,
like that's all in Dragon, like WWE and shit. So you weren't focused on like
it was.
Like
we weren't like
dumb.
we weren't dumb.
We weren't focused.
Yeah, we weren't focused. So So I wouldn't like. Cause like my thing is like I don't like to call things racist unless I really feel like it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really, cause I like Miss Cummings. I felt like I really felt love from her. Like I really, I can really say like she really wanted to help me. You know what I'm saying?
But did she console your parents about like us going in that class?
Yeah, my parents had plenty of conversations with her.
All right, no problem.
My mom knew I needed help.
Mm-hmm.
My mom knew I needed help because like when I would bring work home, sometimes I would hide my homework just because I didn't want to do it.
I just be forgetting.
I would hide it because my mom, she used to like she wanted me to do well in school. Like my parents always wanted, because my mom had trouble learning too. So
it was hereditary.
Yeah. No, that stuff is in my family. Like just all like I have like mental and like learning disabilities on both sides of my family. So I have schizophrenia on my dad's side. My aunt is schizophrenic, and then also on my mother's side, my cousin was a schizophrenic as well. You know,
and he's managing it well so far.
Well, no, he didn't. He actually passed away. Yeah.
Was it like, you know?
Well, they said that he like choked on something, but that kind of doesn't sit well with me. But his mom, that's what his mom says. So I mean,
just leave it at that.
Yeah, just leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah,
there's no problem with it because you know you want mental illnesses and everything.
Yeah,
Schizophrenia, that's a scary one.
Yeah, but I don't know. I can't say like I don't know. I can't really say what happened. I don't know for sure, but they said that he choked and died. Yeah, but at around the time when it happened, they said that he was he was getting really unhealthy. He was letting himself go. He didn't want to take his medication like that. And I actually have another cousin on my I was just with him yesterday. I have another cousin on my mother's side. It's really heavy on my mother's side. It's always a boy in every family because my mom's sister, both of my mom's sisters have a schizophrenic son. My mom only had 2 kids, just me and Gigi. Well, my big sister, me, and Gigi. And none of us ever got diagnosed with like anything like that. Even though I've had like
issues.
I've had like, I wouldn't say episodes, but I've had like, times where I've had like, I wouldn't really, I mean, I guess you would call it like panic attacks. Like I've felt overwhelmed, you know what I'm saying? So but I've always been able to deal with my emotions, in a
time.
Yeah.
Some of these things you get as a kid and everything, with me not focusing, obviously being some kind of ADHD to some degree or whatever. But I feel like a lot of that you kind of grow out of it. I theorize ADHD is like something that I feel like it kind of falls hands in hand like with human evolution too, because it's just like, you got people who like to stay and like gather or hunt, and then you got people who like to migrate and everything and spread around the world. I feel like, as a kid I didn't like to sit still too much, I'm that's as a boy's kid, you want to play and everything. But I feel like even being type to daydream and everything, always wanting to be somewhere else all the time,
That was me, man.
Yeah,
that's still me too.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. But you actually get to travel a lot, right? Yeah.
Well, no, I don't travel. I don't travel that much.
Not much.
Maybe like once a
year. Okay, but you still find time to at least you have that urgency to a certain degree to at least be somewhere else. I feel like a lot of that comes down. I theorize personally that it has a lot to come down with migration too, like the meaning that you want to be somewhere else. Now I want to go to DC. I don't want to be here in Charlotte. That's just everybody. Like some people don't want to stay in the same place where they grew up at. Like, why is that? Nobody wants to stay at where they want to stay unless they really like where they stay at.
I think that's mainly because people just, they kind of want to like test themselves and take a leap. Sometimes when things aren't, sometimes when your life isn't like really like hasn't taken off in a certain way you expect, you kind of want to like start over. And I think that's why people move away. But I think it does also go to, you know, some people just can't be stagnant. I know a lot of people who, as soon as they graduate high school, they change cities. You know what I'm saying?
No, seriously. No, seriously. That's one thing. Stagnancy is one thing. Like, I don't want to be caught in the same place. I feel like that's one of the main reasons that pushed me into college. And so, because I feel like I can't really do anything without some type of degree. To at least be like, okay, like I need to get this job, you know, some kind of credentials.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's just what it was. So it's just like, you know, like, but that's just like my theory on that, you know, because it's just like, because I was always like an intelligent kid growing up. Like, it's just like, it was just like, I always thought of it just too much. Where like, why are we all doing this? You know, I didn't feel challenged. You know, like I was challenged to a certain degree, but it was just like it didn't catch my attention. Now it's like at this age, like, you know, for me to actually like graduate all right close to like the top of my class and everything, you know, that's a big like day and night type thing. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of that is just learning to really just to focus and everything. Like, you know, it's just like I just see it as just like, when I got work to do and everything, it's like, okay, let me get all this stuff done so I can probably go out to the club with the fellas, or I can do this, or I could probably just, you know, catch some ass over here in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like, let me get all this stuff out the way so I don't have to worry about it getting in the way of the things I want to have fun, you know? And it's just like, that's just how like I approach everything in life. Like, I set objective for myself before I do everything. This podcast, you're the 136th episode. Then I hit 150. What do I do next? Okay, now I can actually focus on like maybe actually marking it out there a little bit more often. So now that there's so many different interviews from like educators, war veterans, even us Liberian kids and everything who actually were affected by the war. I've interviewed all sides of like Blama Kote, Michael Yini and everything. Then there's you and stuff, and even my grandfather and stuff of that nature, you know, like then there's just so many different perspectives that are being shown through this podcast alone. So it's like there's so many for other people to get into right there. Next thing you know, like maybe I get a couple more 100,000 downloads and maybe merch sales. You know, it's like it's step by step type thing. But you got to set some kind of objective for yourself with everything. So it's just like that's just how I grew out of it. Just setting objectives. Let me just get this stuff out of the way so I can do this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But back on the whole Shanquella, I'm trying to really pronounce it. Right?
Shan is like Shan and then Quilla.
Okay, Shanquella.
Like,
Shanquella Robinson and everything. Like, yeah, dude, when I just saw the video and everything, I'm like, I just shook my head just so heavy. Because it's just like, you know, trying to come up in this generation, bro, is so tough, bro. Because people are so quick to turn on you for the most nonsensical bullshit.
Why do you think it's so hard for like I mean, I don't think it's why do you think it's hard for like black people to have that type of empathy for each other, like especially like African Americans?
It's a lot of things, but I feel like, you know, it's just this system as it was implemented, you know, it all starts to the plantation and everything, you know, lighter skinned folk, they get to be in the house, obviously because they're related to massa. Then you got the field Negroes and everything, the darker skinned Negroes who had to work like, you know, so hard for years until they get some type of favor, you know? So it already sends a whole like level system and everything, which is going to push people to be competitive against each other, you know, and it was always the slaves that, you know, were always, you know, like ass kissers from massa, the ones that would report the other slaves for running away, report the other slaves that they weren't hitting their, you know, numbers, the house niggas, and everything. They were getting all the clout. They were getting all this. That's what I'm saying. Once you set that dynamic from the plantation, it stretches into other aspects of life. Everything that you do, habit wise, to the way you think, ideology, is gonna bleed into aspects of your life. You know, just like if you like work out every day, you know, you got to build some kind of discipline in yourself. That's going to bleed into your education. That's going to bleed into your opportunities for business. You know, it bleeds into aspects of your life. Same thing with that plantation. That has bled into our lives for generations to the point where even to this day, even though it doesn't really matter, we still talk about colorism to this day. To this day.
I don't know if it was like colorism. No. I think it was like more like I think it was just more like self-hate.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it was like
self-hate of your own color.
Yeah, I feel like the people that went down there with them were just kind of like ignorant to the empathy. Like they didn't realize how
she just didn't care.
Yeah, they didn't care. They were like just too in the mode, like, you know, sometimes like when you're like going with the black culture narrative, and like you're kind of like indulging yourself in all these things that are like presented in like rap music and then on television, and you're just indulging, and then you take that and you kind of like merge that in with your identity. It can like, I feel like this a little bit damaging to an extent, because I mean there's a lot of things that are present in black culture that everybody loves, like our music and the way we dress, the way we style our hair and things like that.
We set the standard for like pop culture and everything.
We set the standard, but there's also a lot of things like the self-hate, you know what I'm saying?
Where it's like people can come from the same area and everything, and like literally someone's doing so much better and they can't really, understand it. They don't get inspired. That's what really takes. You should be inspired by people that, work hard. Michael Jordan did well with the Chicago Bulls. That inspired a generation. Like, maybe I can do it. Maybe I can play basketball.
Right.
And it's just like, and be this good at it. I can be. It ain't gotta be basketball. It can be football or whatever. And then it's just like, even like when my influences, like Notorious B.I.G. or Tupac and everything, show me different dimensions and just like how you can really be more. Right. Like literally, being a rapper ain't gotta be just about killing. You can also empower a woman. You can actually like literally learn to like express yourself in ways that other people can relate to. Right. It's just like that energy just repossesses itself into other people the same way. And when others, like when you come from the same area and you're not on the same shit, either like the best of you is gonna get inspired. We're all going to feel envious, but it's like, it's a feeling, but then you get past it's like, oh yeah, he probably worked hard for it. He probably came up with like the same thing. Maybe I can do it too, but they don't adapt that type of thinking. They're a type of a thinking that becomes very much acute. Yeah. And even like, have you heard of Ja SLT? There was a rapper in Charlotte named Ja SLT, like one of my friends, sleepwalking SLT from college and everything. They knew him and everything. He was really getting on. Like he was about to be on his way out. They shot him in the face. Literally. And it's just like,
when did this happen?
Like this year, a couple months ago. Man, dude was on his shit. Like literally, I'm gonna send you some of his music. His shit
was his name?
Ja SLT. JAAH and then SLT,
You gotta show me. I don't think I heard about that.
No, it's okay. He was really gonna be up there, bro. He had a whole lot of followers on IG and everything. He was gonna really make some of this. I wanted him to be on the podcast too, because we already knew mutual people. So I'm like, it's just like, I won't really want to pick his brain out on some things and everything of that nature. And then before we could even get any of that situated, they shot him. We have yet to figure out who killed him for real. But it's just like,
they haven't arrested anybody.
Nah, man, because it's like, dude, people will hate on you and you won't even know them. You have no relation with them. So it's hard to trace. Like if I went on the street and just shot somebody in the face and I didn't know that person, they didn't know me and everything, it's hard to trace.
Yeah, right.
You have to find a motive.
Yeah.
You gotta find a motive. You gotta find a reason. But when you have a whole lot of people hating on you, which I'm sure there is, like once you're becoming successful and everything, it's just a matter of time. It's just sad because it's our people every time.
Yeah, that's why a lot of the times, like you see, like I have all like I'm doing pretty well for myself. That's why I try not to like post too much. I used to be like when I was younger, maybe like when I first got it, I used to be like, a little bit flaunting of like, my newfound success, but I really try not to like let people in, because especially when you let new people in and people like you didn't come up with, like those people get really envious of you,
And it ain't gotta be people you just met or come with. There's some people that you just meet, bro, that can really help you along your way. It just comes down to what their foundation is. Like some people are just naturally empathetic. There are people who I knew who do music, bro, who aren't even assholes, bro. I've interviewed so many artists, bro, and you're like, I tried to do the music thing in high school, right? And then like one half, some people fuck with it, other half people start hating on it, which was weird because I just fucking got there. Like you're pressed over a nigga that writes in a notebook. Like it's just like you would let that sit in your spirit to where it bothers you. Right. But they exist. And it's just like it all comes from the same insecure whatever.
Yeah, nah, for real.
It was just weird, but that's how people are in Charlotte. Because there's always, behind every hater, there's always like a group of followers that follow behind that. Because they can't think for themselves. And then it's just, that's what really fucks shit up for real.
Yeah, I just, you just got to protect your spirit too. You got to protect your spirit. You don't want to be, just intertwining your spirit with a lot of different people. You try to keep yourself. For me, I just try to keep myself, humble and grounded, with my family, because I feel the best. Like, I feel like it's best for my spirit when I'm with my family.
No, really.
Yeah, because those, like, when I'm around family, it almost feels like I'm at church. Like,
Yeah.
that feeling when you leave church and you're like,
Yeah.
it's like a breath of fresh air.
I just started going to Sunday school not too long ago.
Yeah.
It's just it's at the Hickory Grove Baptist Church and everything. It's just that's where I'm rolling with. Because like when my grandmother fell ill, not my grandmother, but my grandfather was out there, so it's like he always had like a bunch of
girls.
Yeah, so it just runs in the blood. Anyway, it's just but one of like my uncle's mothers and everything fell ill, and I'm like, oh snap! Like, no, we just lost my grandfather this year. Like, now I'm gonna just go to church. I'm gonna pray on it. So since I've been going to church, she got better, but it's like other aspects of my life started improving also.
Yeah, that's what it'll do. You'll see things like that, especially when you get closer with God. It'll help you out with stuff like that. But when I'm with my family, it kind of gives me that same feeling, and it's just like enriching for your spirit. But I just try to keep myself humble. And that's like one of the most things, because the same way you got this stuff, the same way you come up, you can always lose it. It doesn't, like, you can lose it. You can lose it faster than you got it, So you always got to just be humble and just be grateful for what you have and just treat it like it can be gone tomorrow,
But really lay low for real, because like three like the most successful artists we had in hip hop, from Drake to J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar, how much gang violence have they ever like put in their music?
None.
And they still get like, well, some of them get as much respect and everything regardless. They're still gonna be decorated artists,
right?
Yeah, for a while.
Still making tons of money. J. Cole's a great example of that, because he's like, I think he's worth like 60 million. He still wears like thrift store clothes,
Nah, he's happy. He's humble where he's at. It's like because he already proved.
And I wish more people would value things like that. Like, we value like the big chain and the street cred. It's like, I wish we would value like going to school. I wish we would value like being able to talk, like actually speak and articulate yourself well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if that was something that like people prided themselves on in the inner city, we'd be doing better as a people, But instead, people are priding themselves on the wrong things, like how many dudes you robbed this year, or how many scams you do, how
much money you got in the dirty way,
how much you flip that pack for, And that, I'm not taking none from nobody who trapped. Like, I've done it
seriously,
too.
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, like I've done it too, but it's like, that should be just a way to build capital, so you can get out so you can do something else. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So like, you can get some money, sell your packs, get some money, buy you a box truck, sell some money, buy some packs, get you a dumpster, rent it out, sell you some
invest into business. Like, literally, like, this whole country was found off freaking human trafficking.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, that's just the name of the game out here. You
always gotta get your hands dirty a little bit.
To a certain extent. Some people can, and that's cool. I respect them also too, because it's just like. Because, it's just like there's some people who just can't get caught up with that life at all. Because some of us have like siblings and cousins and stuff under us. Yeah. And we don't want them to fall that direction, because like then they might have a slip up, and then boom, like, then it's like you're at fault. Now you're feeling shame and guilty because you put them on that path. And it's not worth it. Like,
I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying like don't go do that, but like don't pride yourself in that. Don't make that like the thing that makes you proud and happy to to be outside. Like, pride yourself in like, all right, I'm doing this, but guess what? I just put a deposit on a box truck. I'm about to be on the road moving furniture or something. I'm about to be doing this, or I'm about to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? So
flip property, do something like that. Like, really learn more than like just doing like the same old shit.
Right. Because at the end of the day, bro, it ain't like, you all like if you doing shit like that, you always gonna just be looking over your back. You always gonna have that thought like, damn, if I get caught up today, all this shit is over. I gotta start again from scratch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that shit not gonna happen if you doing something legal, like you doing something like where you can like post, you doing something where you can really be proud of and post that shit all over your internet without anybody taking your Instagram down. You know what I'm saying? You can do all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a better route. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just lay low, man, for real. Like, it's just like, I swear, just being private, there's so much power in just people not knowing what you're doing.
Right.
And people making up shit or guessing because they end up looking fucking ridiculous and shit. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, you don't even know that nigga like that. You're speaking on them. You know, it's just like, you know, it's just, but that's just how the culture is here in Charlotte a whole lot. You know, it's just like, you know, you really got to stay on your P's and Q's out here. Like, there's nothing more powerful, nothing more better than really just staying in your own lane, but at least taking the steps to actually reach out and actually grow as an individual too. You know, like that's just my thoughts on things like that and everything. So it's just like you actually went to dang, I keep screwing up this one. Shanquella Robinson. Did you go to her funeral?
I actually didn't make it. I think that day. What was I? No, I think I had to work that day. Yeah, so I didn't make it. I mean, I wasn't like that close with her, but just seeing like what happened to her, it kind of just made me feel sad, made me feel some type of way. But no, I didn't make it to the funeral. It was a beautiful funeral though. That's how I like expected her funeral to be because she was fabulous. Like I'm telling you, she was fabulous. She was like one of those girls. Like she's like one of those it girls. Like she was like one of those girls always popular in the school. A lot of people had love for her. So yeah, I mean, it was nice. I saw a lot of videos and a lot of pictures online. I just hope that they're able to
move past this.
I hope that they're able to get everybody.
From this. Yeah.
I hope that they're able to prosecute everybody who was involved.
They will. As soon as the FBI gets involved, it's over.
Yeah.
Because as soon as the FBI gets involved, that's it for real. Like, it's just like, and the saddest thing about it, because I don't want to see people locked up, especially our people.
Yeah, like, I don't want to see people locked up, but when you do that to another black person, it's like you're a part of the problem. You have to like get like. If they catch y'all gotta sit for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's already everywhere. Everybody knows who is involved.
And
like
they send the video out like a dumbass.
Like it's not like a thing where it's like anybody like draw a snitch or anything like that. It's already out. Like y'all are fucked. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
and it wasn't even over anything like trying to like trap or nothing. Y'all just got jealous over a friend that really wanted to roll with y'all, that really fuck with you to the point where they will pay for your ticket to go to.
I just wish she had better friends, man.
Don't we all? Sometimes, right? I swear, because you never even know how people switch up. At least I'm at a place now where it's like at least people that wouldn't be on some nut shit like that. And it's just like, but even then, you still gotta like check in with like maybe once in a while, but not be all under them like all the time. Like maybe send a text out and everything.
Yeah.
Like I know I sent a text out one of my friends and everything. I'm part of this program called Europe and everything, where they can pretty much hook you up with an internship with like a major corporation. He just went through that, and I didn't even know that till I just met him the other day. So it's like now he's on his internship now. So now I'm really, really dedicated to staying with this like program because if like it can really hook you up with a position, then like that's all good on that end. But even regardless of everything, like just checking with your peoples every once in a while and everything. It's always like the people that are always up under you and everything that might do you like the most dirtiest. That's one thing I've really had to learn for real, because it's like people get too familiar. That's when they start doing, but not all their toxicity out and everything.
Yeah, when people get comfortable, definitely. That's when they start to show their true colors.
Yeah, sure. No, for real, man. I just want to say, like, especially if there's anybody who knew Shanquella Robinson, for maybe family members or friends and everything, rest in peace, Shanquella Robinson, and everything. I ain't really know her personally or nothing like that, but it's always sad, like, when people, like, lose their life early, especially when they had a whole lot of life to live.
Yeah, especially innocent, man. Yeah. It's not, a lot of times when people die in Charlotte, like, you don't know, like, the full story. Like, you don't know if, like, they were beefing with somebody or they might have did something or whatever. But this particular story, I can speak to this. Like, that girl never did nothing to nobody. She was to herself, humble, just chilling. Even though she had all the nice fire shit, I never heard her be like, call somebody a bum or anything like that. She was just always on her chill shit, man. She wasn't worried about motherfuckers. She was just worried about doing her own thing. And she had a business, so she understood like she had to get it on her own.
That's another thing I want to ask you. Your younger cousin, Esimo.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, Esimo who killed Calvin.
Yeah, Calvin Melvin.
Damn, you were the first person I wanted to talk to about. I didn't get your number because I thought it was so. Dude, I cried that day, bro.
You knew Calvin?
Calvin was actually, he was related to my aunt Special, and like my aunt Special and my mom go back like way back, because everybody parents go back in Liberia and everything. But it's just like she used to babysit Calvin at some points and everything. We all know each other. We're all like, as Liberian, we all know each other somehow.
Well, that case is still ongoing. So.
It's still ongoing? I interviewed his brother.
Melvin?
No, Siki.
Whose brother?
Calvin's half brother. Siki. He does music also and everything. Dreads, yeah, he does have
dark skin.
Yeah, he is kind of darker skin. I don't really know what dark skin is like. She ain't light skin, that's all I know. But he got dreads.
He had a younger brother named Melvin.
But it's like full-blooded brother.
Full-blooded.
Okay, no, I'm talking about his half brother, like his father's son, and everything. Because it's just how it is. We all got half siblings.
Yeah, I can't really
speak on it.
I'm not gonna really speak too much on it, but all I'm gonna say is, I wouldn't like boil that situation down to like, hate. It's more like, all right, I'll just give you a scenario. So like if say you're going to a party and you and your guys going to the party and you there's a confrontation at the door. You and your guys get into it with some guys at the party. And they pull and you see that they have a gun. You see it's on their waist. You see it, and you getting into it with those guys, and then next thing you know, gunfire starts shooting. Gunfire there's gunfire, and somebody ends up dead, and you end up shot. That's not really, you know what I'm saying? It's not. Who's to say if that's who's to say? And I mean, I'm here, like, I knew Kelvin too, like RP Kelvin, but who's to say if that's like a self-defense, or who's to say if that's, he was the aggressor? Like nobody, I wasn't there, so I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But, and I know Esimo, and Esimo, that's my little cousin, so I'm always going to be in his corner no matter what. But
I heard Esimo was having some issues though, even with his mom and everything, and him getting in the bad crowds and stuff.
Well, I mean, I don't really know anything about that, but all I can really say is that night Esimo was shot too. Yeah. He was in critical too. You know what I'm saying? He could have died too. Yeah. So I mean, it's not, no one really knows what happened. Yeah. So two people got shot. Well, actually 3 people got shot and 1 person died. Yeah, so we really just got to see what happens in court, because that's when all the facts are gonna come out, and that's when you'll really be able to be like, okay, this is what happened. Now it's kind of like black and white, but like right now it's all in the gray. It's all in the gray, because like in a lot of situations where guns are drawn, legally, if somebody has a gun on them and they're getting aggressive with you. Legally, you can, pull your gun out too and use it.
Yeah, so North Carolina laws.
Exactly. So
defense laws.
Exactly. So for him to have gotten shot in that situation, I'm just gonna chuck it up as I don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I believe he was defending himself. I believe it was self-defense because there was a couple other guys over there who I'm not gonna say their names, but there was a couple other dudes over there who I know them and I know what they're known for. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just keep it like that. But yeah, it's a sad situation, and he is in jail right now. Yeah. But You know,
it's fucked up because I remember like Esimo was just like a little smart mouth talking kid.
remember,
So it's like when I heard that situation, I was like, man, what?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, you know, because like it really sat down like, dang, we're really getting old because like now we're really getting to that age now where people are now losing their lives and everything. And now we all got cousins now that end up having, you know, firearms. I don't know what's up with Liberians now. Liberian kids, especially with like firearms, but I get it. You know,
I mean, I'm heavy into my Second Amendment. You know, no, I feel you though. I don't really like to like announce that, but like, I mean, it's in the Constitution, so why not?
I mean, yeah,
because other people are gonna have them, and especially like when you get a place, you're gonna want to have something to protect yourself.
I know for a fact, but it's just like, you know, it's so crazy now. Like it's just like I remember it was just like yesterday. All we had to worry about was just watching a cartoon. I saw that post with the whole like promo of Christmas on Cartoon Network type shit, and I'm like, damn, what happened to those days?
You gotta think about it, that's over 10 years ago now.
A decade, and
over a decade. Like, it's crazy. It doesn't even feel that long. But remember, it was just the other day when we were laughing over Fred Burger.
the group invention of Billy and Mandy and shit. When he was wigging out over his frozen yogurt.
Yo, bro, it was just the other day. Remember that shit came on, and the next day I came to school. I was like, yo, you see that shit?
fucking Family Guy and shit. Like, even wrestling was the
WWE.
I think it's starting to get better now because now, like, because Vince McMahon got, you know, caught up with the whole hush money scandal and everything.
Bro, Vince McMahon, it was one of the most corrupt owners of all time.
It was not just a character, right?
Yeah, he was not a character, bro. He was one of the most corrupt. He was abusing women, goddamn, the whole Me Too movement. Like, he was like...
It was a matter of time.
It was a matter of time. Like, when that whole Me Too movement came out, it was just a matter of time before they got him out of there. Because he was, like, having sex with the wrestlers and doing all types of shit. Like, I watched a video on his shit. Like, he was a menace, yo. Like, the shit he was doing back then, you could not get away with now. And especially because of that industry. Mm-hmm. The industry is, like, predominantly white. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, you got white dudes at the top. You know, they're going to do whatever they want to their employees. You know what I'm saying? They treating that shit like a plantation for real. Because wrestlers, it wasn't even getting paid that much. That's why you see all the big wrestlers go to acting.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If they're lucky, they go to, they're not dead or in prison. Because I know you remember the summer when Chris Benoit killed his family and everything, right? And then killed himself. Yeah. Yeah, that was a crazy summer, bro.
That head trauma, that CTE.
Yeah, CTE. That's why I'm like, I don't know. Even with my brother getting into football, bro, because I know even them brain injuries, bro. Like, you don't want to have to deal with that.
Well, football, now they make it better because, like, you can't target the head, but I still think it's a little bit, you know.
Them niggas is heavy, bro. Like,
it's heavy, yeah.
They're heavy.
It's hard, man. It's hard because, I mean, you can't. In football now, you can't target the head, and you can't. So like they try to make it seem like you could get less CTE, but it really only takes one hit, yo. Really? It really only takes one time for somebody to hit you hard, because they've like done data like on the collisions, and like some of them as hard as car crashes. You know what I'm saying? So like it only takes like one or two of those, and then you done.
No. Really,
you done.
Man. It's just like, I don't even for Tom Brady to have a career as long as he did. Dude had a career long enough for people to just be born
he's
from
like 40 now, right?
Yeah, I think he got in like around 2003, 2002. I think he was drafted in. Tom Brady.
I think he was drafted like 2001, actually.
Yeah, so it's like, bro, like that's old enough. Like people are having kids who were born in 2001 are having kids now.
Yeah, his career is longer than some teenagers'
lives and everything. Yeah, but dude, that year, that was crazy, man. I remember it's like the episode before that, Vince McMahon's like car fucking blew up, and I'm like, oh shit, what's gonna happen on this episode of Raw? And then it's like, oh yeah, rest in peace, Chris and Boy. I don't watch the news at all as a kid, so it's like that was the news. Like what?
Yeah.
And then it's just like it's like, oh, he killed his family and all this stuff. Like wow, dude. Wow, we were really living in a time for real. It's just like there was so much stuff going on in those days and everything.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of stuff going on that we didn't even like realize.
And that was 2007. The next year, Barack Obama was elected in the president.
Yeah, remember? I don't know. Do you remember 9/11?
I don't remember exactly what was going, because like 2001, man, like I was in preschool that time.
I was in preschool.
So it's like all I remember is like getting picked up early. That's just it.
That's what I remember.
But given how time was just kind of different as a kid, you really just be like, oh, okay, I'm here and now.
Yeah, I didn't even realize what was going on. It's crazy, but yeah, a lot of shit happened like when we were growing up.
Yeah, man, dude, as a kid, bro, you really like when you post us like, man, I miss being a kid. It's like, no, same, bro, because it's like, dude, like it was just like
it was a simpler time.
It was simpler time, like us joking in OLA and everything.
You don't realize, people. Adults tell you like when you get older, things get real, but you don't really realize how real it gets. You don't realize you could really like just be depressed or like just out on the streets, like just from not having the job that you want, not getting the money that you think you would want to like live a healthy and sustainable life.
Friends get on drugs, overdose.
Friends get on drugs, people die. Like nothing can really prepare you for like the things that life has in store for you.
You have to bury loved ones too.
Yeah, you kind of just have to go through it and just
keep pushing forward.
Yeah, just keep pushing forward. That's why I feel like it's good to have some type of relationship with God or or a higher power, or just be able to connect to something bigger than you, so you can be able to deal with some of these things that life throws at you. Yeah. That's the main reason why I decided to follow God and go to church and things like that.
Yeah, man. Because the way I be praying, even for my brother or just my family, bro, it's just like you really don't know who's gonna come home, because you don't know like who's gonna bring up a gun, who's gonna do this and who's gonna do that, who's gonna shoot up and everything. That's why I say to myself so much, bro. I'm so selective of who I bring in my circle, bro. Because it's just like being out there. It's overrated because everybody's so fucking stupid. So it's like, why even waste your time with that and everything? It's just like, it's cool. I like to go out. I like to, every now and again, but it's just like at the same token, you don't know who's all going to be out there. You don't know who's dealing with whatever, what home they come through, what their origin story is, were they molested, were they not, or they just that fuck up their brain, moving on and everything.
You don't know. You never know what people are dealing with.
And who wants to make it your problem or the next person's problem?
Exactly.
But it's just like, no, seriously, man. But that's just the generation, bro. But I feel like those memories in the past, you look back on it, you just smile on it, like
just
things
smile
was
on
really
it.
great. It's just like you remember from Multicultural Week and everything when Boris was like they had to dance with Miss Rankasoon.
Oh yeah. She goes to my church.
Oh, she does. Oh, dang, oh, cool. Tell her hi for me next time.
Yeah, I see her all the time, every Sunday.
Oh, really?
I don't go every Sunday, but when I go, I see her.
What church you go to? You go to?
I used to go to St. Thomas Aquinas, but then now I go to I used to go to Constellation, then I went to St. Thomas Aquinas. Now I go to back to Constellation.
You're like basically Catholic still, or?
No, I don't really have a deny. I go to any church, honestly, as long as the word is good.
Yeah, I go to Baptist church.
My grandma's Baptist. I like Baptist church too. My mom is a Baptist, but she converted from my dad.
Okay. Yeah. So your dad's Catholic now?
Yeah, my dad is a Catholic. My dad's he was born in Italy, so Rome.
Oh, yeah.
He was born in Italy. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't really like get into that because like every church has their faults. Every church, if you go in history, every church, every religion has their faults. Mm-hmm. So I don't really like get into like which religion's the right. I just believe in God. Jesus is my Lord and Savior. That's what I believe.
Yeah, most definitely, man. It's just like, I can't even tell you like how good things started getting from here. Like the more I keep going to church and everything, bro. Mm-hmm. Like I swear, it's just like this year was especially tough. Especially I had to bury my own grandfather and everything. Mm-hmm. I couldn't really leave the city as I wanted to. So this podcast thing was like a positive for me to take my mind off a lot of this stuff and actually make rooms for other things, even networking with other people. Like I've talked to artists, other people who have emotions with the music industry and just educators, stuff of that nature. It's just like
DC would be a great place for you to go to expand and build on top of what you got now, because you got 100-some episodes and you building a digital footprint. Definitely DC is a good move. I could see you because you speak well, so I could see you doing well with this. You definitely should keep going.
Oh yeah, No, most definitely, man. It just comes natural to me for some. I don't know why and everything, but it just does. Like I don't know if I'm like more of an extrovert or whatever, but it's just like, and I like to talk to people, get their background and like their ideals in regards to things of that nature. It just comes naturally to me, and like I feel like it pretty much opened up a whole lot of doors for me to that degree. Too and everything, but it's just like, you know, you got to do something. You can't be on your ass.
And then you see like all these podcasts that are like getting like big now. Like Joe Rogan's, everybody. I know, well, not everybody, but a lot of people watch him. I watch a lot of No Jumper. I watch
Champs.
Yeah, I watch Drink Champs a lot. I love Drink Champs. I watch
Vlad TV.
I like Vlad. I do like Vlad, but it depends. Like Vlad, his interviews are very informative. But they're also very long. So you'll have to like kind of watch something that you're really interested in.
They have clips, so
yeah, they have clips. But I like to like sometimes like they'll stop it right when they're like getting deep into something. You know what I'm saying? So like I like to watch his videos, and like a lot of it depends on who's on there. Like John Sally, the basketball player.
Yeah. Did he play for the Lakers or who did he play for?
He did play for the Lakers, but he was known for being on the Bad Boy Pistons.
One of my favorite basketball teams.
Yeah. He was on that team, and I love him because he just has like a great perspective on a lot of different topics, and he says things that like a lot of people would like. He'll say things that a lot of people wouldn't agree with, but he'll word them in such a like an informative way that it's like hard to disagree with him because you might not have the information, but like if you listening to him, what he says, and if you're taking it as fact, then it's like, okay, well, yeah, that's real good information. I didn't know that, So yeah, I would watch Vlad interviews.
Yeah. I like the interviews with Lord Jamar and Godfrey. Also,
Godfrey interviews are super good. So like, okay, so the Godfrey is what, Nigerian, right?
I think so. I know he played that game on and like Soul Plane. You remember?
Yeah. He's so funny. I love him. He's an underappreciated comedian. Cause like if you think about it, like the early 2000s, he was putting in a lot of work. He was getting a lot of like money from those VH1 shows and shit like that. Yeah. He was like one of the best personalities on those shows. Like yeah.
No, like,
Godfrey he's super smart, and he also has like a really intelligent perspective too.
And he got a podcast too, I think.
He does. I need to check it out. Yeah, so like a lot of people are making podcasts now, and there's definitely money in it. It's a whole industry now, so it's cool.
Yeah, you get monetized or whatever. But it's just really just a matter of just getting the right people to listen. Like I know I interviewed this one Nigerian girl who like does music called Queen Izzy, and just because of her episode and everything, it was like my first 300 downloads on the episode, which is like way early on. But also it's like it got listeners out like in the UK and in Africa and in South Africa. I'm like, damn. So it just takes a matter of just doing that. Like, wow, what if I really marketed this? Like really push this. So that's why it's like once I get that 150 mark, that's like going to be on the bucket list of things I got to do. Definitely got to put it out there. Certain areas like I want to hit like New York, Atlanta, Houston, LA. Those are the 4 main cities because it's like those are the main pop and say Miami also obviously, and just like pretty much all the other cities in between that too, but just even outside of that too, and everything, make it global and everything, and then maybe get it monetized where it's like I can get some type of revenue off the ads, just stuff of that nature. It's just a step-by-step process.
It's definitely money in it, man. I'm telling you. If you do this, just keep it as a side hustle. Eventually, it'll be your main gig. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, sure. It all comes to work and everything for sure. And I know, like, we literally go back since fucking second grade. I think that's when we really. No, we weren't in the same kindergarten class. We didn't meet until second grade. I remember.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, no, I remember because it's like you were like the only person I knew that was Liberian other than myself. I thought I was like the only Liberian in the world at that point and everything. So it's just like, and then from then on, it was just me, you, Ronald, and Joe Malone, and then Boris came, and then Boris became.
Wait, Joe Malone? I don't remember.
You remember Joseph, the white guy?
Oh, you know what I'm saying? But why? He's white. Why did you say him?
I'm just saying, no, because we used to hang out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we did used to hang out, but I didn't really like him like that.
You didn't like him, but that was the homie.
I didn't like him. Joe he was cool. He was kind of. I think you liked Joe. I liked Hubie. Remember Hubie?
Who's Hubie?
He had a sister. I forget his name. I actually have the old yearbook.
Oh, he had a sister with black hair.
Yeah.
Leslie.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember Leslie. Leslie.
Yeah.
It was all coming back. Amanda Fahm and Ellie Singletary and all them.
I saw Allie the other day. She works at Plato's Closet.
She works at Plato's Closet.
Yeah, she's really cute now.
I know she was a heavy pothead too. Like,
is she really?
I know I saw like the IG side, like she was smoking hella weed. I'm like, damn, I be thinking like they're the smart kids.
I don't even have her IG. You gotta.
I had it at one point.
Let me get that when you done, bro. She's mad pretty, yo. She is like, bro. When I seen her at that, she didn't even remember me. I was like, you remember me? I was like, we went to elementary school. She didn't remember me.
She still don't remember it? Yeah, smoking pothole.
Yeah, that's probably why. That's probably why. Yeah, because I was like, yo, how you don't remember me? Bro, how did those times, those?
I saw Caitlin. I was delivering pizza to her one time.
I see Caitlin all the time. She's cute as fuck too now.
She slimmed down a whole lot.
She slimmed down a lot. She's still tall as hell, but she's cute.
Dunk on your ass.
No cap. I seen her at a pool party. She was like Giorgio. I was like, Caitlin? I was like, what the fuck?
You know what was crazy? When I delivered pizza to her house one time, I saw her mom. I remember her mom and everything. And I'm like, oh, hold on. I think I went to school with your daughter and everything. And it's oh, yeah, Caitlin, I think one of your classmates is up here. And then she just come jumping out of everywhere, jump all that weight. I'm like, what?
She was like, oh, yeah. She's fine now. She's like a stallion.
She went to freaking Appalachian State. Like, obviously.
All those kids we grew up with are like preppy kids now.
Yeah, no, seriously, we're fucking being fucking hood niggas. Yeah. Fucking ghetto rat.
But it's crazy because OLA is like in the hood though.
I mean, it's near. I mean, it's on the east side, I guess.
It's not like. Nah, it is kind of. It's right near. It's like right near in Milton. Like Milton is like hood.
And East Way ain't that far from it either.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like right there. Like it's like around different neighborhoods that are like inner city. Like that, it's in the inner city.
Yeah, no, we're not too far away from Eastland Mall, and it was just like that. Cause I live not too far from the old area and everything. It's like literally Eastland Mall was wild. Because
I never went. Well, I've been there before, but not
too much to get comfortable.
Yeah, I was never there. I was always going to Concord Mills because my mom worked at Concord Mills.
Oh yeah, well, see, fucking Eastland Mall, dude. They had fights. They had a rape. They had all types of crazy.
I remember that shootout that happened at Eastland Mall.
They had a shootout at every other mall now.
Yeah, I've
recently fucking South Park Mall.
Yeah, Concord is everywhere. There's always something going on at the mall.
Yeah, Charlotte's getting crazy for no reason.
It's the people. It's more people coming in the city.
That too and everything. Yeah, because we have people from freaking Atlanta, Chicago, New York.
Everybody's coming down.
All the people from New York talking about something they ran New York. How you run a whole city with like billions of people and you're two people? Like just say you had a good time. Just leave it at that.
A lot of people from there. A lot of people from really all over.
Chicago.
Yeah, a lot of people from Chicago. Facts. Yeah, but back then, back then we do go way back, man. You know, you're like one of my first like friends outside of like cousins and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and our family was pretty locked in too, because it's like a Liberian community type things and everything. There was that one time I think I moved in because I moved into an apartment on the east side of Amaro. Do you remember and everything? He just showed out there.
Yeah, I remember. I've been there.
Yeah, aren't you Trunken's cousin or whatever?
Trunken, yeah, he just texted me actually.
He just did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool, man. But it's like
I was just with him yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He just be at the crib and everything.
Yeah, Trunken be pulling up. You know, he stay in the city, and he's my younger cousin. So you know, I try to like make sure they on the right path, make sure they in school, make sure they just not on no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Got something going on.
No, seriously, dead ass. Like that's the main thing. It's really. Especially like my brother and everything, you know. It's like I know, like Taurus has his head on straight, so it's cool. Like Taurus is just like, oh, like I'm talking to you, like he's like that same way. Like he's not like a punk or anything of that nature.
He's in. How old is he? Like 21?
He's 22.
22. Yeah, so he's
a 2000 baby. So you just take whatever last digit. Yeah, and that's his age.
He's in that age where he's like. He's at that age where it's like he kind of has to find his path. I feel like around 20, like from 18 to 25, you kind of got to
figure shit out on your own.
Yeah, you kind of have to find your path around that age.
Oh, I mean, yeah, at least I know he has good friends around him. So it's just
Yeah.
like, so it's like, it's always good. I never, like, they no backstabbers or anything around him or nothing.
Yeah, because you
So
don't
it's
want to
like,
like figure out what you want to do when you're like 30. Even though you can, a lot of people do that, and it can be great. But like just to be like more comfortable and for peace of mind, I try to like have a good path
yeah.
that you want to go on by the time you're like 24, and you'll be all right. Because I think like ever since I graduated school, I
High school
was
or college?
college. Ever since I graduated college, I kind of been on this path like entrepreneurship, and that's like what's sustaining me like in my everyday, my bills and stuff. And then while I'm doing this, I'll be looking for work. I'll be trying to build my resume and do things that will make me more attractive to a company. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, once I like figured out that's like my niche, like that's what I'm gonna be doing for the next 2 to 3 years. I just stick with that because right now I actually found a good job. I'm working with an investment company, like
Okay.
I'm basically I work with debt securities. Yeah, so like just like basically like bonds and bills and municipal bonds and stuff like that, like city bonds, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, seriously, man. That's good, man. I was just working with Novon and everything as a care associate, and I had to leave that fucking job. It's just
But that's pretty good too.
yeah, no, it's good to work in the hospital, but my mom's work at Atrium. I'm about to work at Atrium as a patient safety attendant.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm just gonna be working at the warehouse until like that goes through and everything.
I feel it.
Really, but it's just like dead ass. It's just like really that transition out of college into like really. Some people are lucky where they actually got an internship and it's just like career.
Yeah,
Good.
I never got an internship because I was always trying to be on top of my grades, make sure I never fail a class.
And COVID hit, and that kind of like
Yeah, COVID really messed me up because COVID like prolonged my graduation date. But I really wasn't tripping because around the time that COVID hit, I was also like investing into my business. That's really when I was started my business. So I was like, well, if this COVID thing, I mean, like it's kind of like messing up my school, but I can spend more time towards this. So I just dived in, put all my focus towards my business. So by the time that I graduated, it was up and running, and it was like sustaining me. And I also had money like to help my parents out, my mom and dad. So it was good for me. I feel like if you have an idea, like any type of entrepreneurial spirit, and you got an idea, just go for it, man. It's always better to work for yourself.
Always better, yeah. No, seriously, I need to get back all girl because I got like an offer like to get my whole real estate license and everything, which costs like about a couple hundred, which wouldn't be a problem for me right now. But it's like at the same time, I still want to get certain things out of the way first before I go all in that and everything. It should be willing to work with me and that and everything. But even beyond that, podcasts. I'm thinking about maybe trying to write a book too. That would have been cool.
I think that would be good for you.
Yeah, because
I'll buy it.
I already got like a storyline set up, and I'll like, explain it to you after when we go off.
I know somebody can help you get published too.
I know somebody too. I interviewed her also. Black Publishing Company.
That's what's up.
Seriously, like when I say the networking you can get from just doing this stuff, bro, like it's crazy and everything. But
yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, but we pretty much talked about just about every topic we could speak on and everything. We're already pushing up to almost 2 hours. It's one of my longer episodes.
Damn.
And everything. Hey, we had a lot to catch up on. We ain't seen each other like forever and everything.
Yeah.
We homies. So it is.
Man,
and everything.
This is one of my best friends from back in the day, man. We used to laugh every day. Like I had some of my best laughs with this guy right here.
No,
this is a good guy right here, man.
Yeah, no, seriously, I mean, I can't believe how much time passed, bro. Because my family pretty much divorced and everything. I had to grow past that. I had to pretty much be strong for my brother. We had to be strong for each other and everything. Even going from that, relatives passing away and everything.
Man,
I didn't know where I was gonna go after community college. I felt like everybody in high school, all my fake ass fucking friends, and I had to move on past that, find new people in HBCU atmosphere, graduate at the top of my class. There's a lot of people I had to prove wrong, man. That's what I had to move on with.
Nah, I'm glad you did that, man. I'm glad you did that the same way that I went to school and finished. I'm glad that you did the same thing because I felt like growing up, I felt like we were like the ones that they didn't expect us to do anything. They probably expected us just to like fall
Beyond
through
the
the
street.
cracks.
Just beyond the
Yeah,
street.
be a statistic. Yeah.
Nah, I never wanted to be a statistic.
Yeah, nah, me
Nobody's
neither.
gonna have that power over me, man.
Yeah, me neither.
It's crazy because a lot of the white kids they used to fuck with me in fucking middle school and everything. And it's like they end up being fucking drug addicts, kidnapping
Yeah,
people.
a lot of those guys, a lot of those kids at Queens Grant were like
Stupid.
Yeah, they were like they weren't like the smartest. They were just like their parents. I feel like that wasn't like where the preppy kids go. That's where like the parents who want their kids to be preppy but they weren't that educated sent their kids, you know?
Yeah, no, seriously, and it wasn't really. I really wish I probably would have like went to like Hawthorne or something. You know, I'm just saying like I probably would have gotten more exposure. But you know, considering my development, like looking back on life now, I feel like everything happens for a reason
Yeah.
and where it needed to be because it's just like literally like trying to grow out from being that statistic, proving a lot of the teachers wrong and everything too. You know, I don't know. You remember Mr. G from fucking Queensborough?
What did he teach?
He was like math, but he taught it really shit.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, I know you were there for like a year.
Queens Grant was such a blur to me, yo. I hated that school. Like I was just in there miserable, man. I hated that.
The only class that was good was Coach Stokes' class to me.
Yeah, Coach Stokes was funny, man.
Everybody was funny in that class.
Yeah.
Tayshawn, Youngsu, Chris Bennett. You ever know what happened to Chris Bennett after that?
Chris Bennett.
The dude with the afro?
I don't remember him.
Chris Bennett, Jabril. I don't even know if you remember Jabril.
I remember Tayshawn. I remember Young Sue.
Jabril, Chris Bennett, Brandon Duncan. I did an episode with him and everything.
I don't remember a lot of kids from Queens Grant. I barely tried to even vibe with anybody from there. I don't even remember the last day of school. Like, I don't even remember. I feel like that's a blur. Like, when I think of my high school, I always think of Vance. I never think of, like, Queens Grant. That one year I went to Queens Grant is just a blur.
No, seriously. At least you got to leave. Your parents just let you go? Or is it just...
Well, I just used to tell them every day that I hated it. Yeah, and then it was really far from my house. So they just, at that point, they were just like, all right, we'll just send you to public school.
At least your parents are more lenient. My mom like, no, this is a good school for you. Oh, no, it's a good place for you. And it's like, ain't shit here. They ain't got a gym or a fucking library. Like, how you gonna make me go?
Fucking library. What kind of school?
You gonna make me go? How did you end up being there? I was so surprised to see you there. I'm like, why are you here?
I was there for soccer because they had a good soccer team and the coach wanted me to play.
Oh yeah,
he begged me to stay. He begged me because like the year
Garcio, that was
yeah. He was a good coach though. Honestly, if I wanted to go like play collegiate soccer, I should have stayed there because he was really on me and he was making me he was really making me a good soccer player. That's one soccer coach because after that I was just on teams with like a bunch of Hispanic guys. So like but like before that it was like more like I was really learning the game of soccer because in public school they don't give a fuck about soccer. They just care about basketball and football. So like they don't really give a lot of funding into soccer, and even that school didn't give a bunch of funding into it. But we still had a great field to play on, you know. So that was the good thing, and we could be on that field as long as we wanted. So and the coach, Mr. Gershio, he would put in the time to like develop me because he saw me as like a freshman. I was on varsity, so he saw me like, okay, by the time he's a senior, I can make him like really good.
Yeah, okay. In that case, I'd understand. At least he had a reason. Shit, my family, I don't know what my parents would think. I think I know like other kids went there. It's like, oh, maybe if we keep putting them around these other kids, maybe we'll start doing better. It's like that was the reason why I was fucking up in school. Yeah, because I was putting up with these those preppy ass motherfuckers.
Yeah, because when I went to CIS, I started getting A's and B's. I started getting straight A's.
Because you were around people that were like you.
Yeah, I was around more black people, and then like it was just all inclusive. It was Arabic people, Hispanic people. Just all types of people, all types of people at CIS. You would have loved it.
Yeah,
I was around a lot. That was the first time I was around like black people where I was like, okay. Like this is dope. I did way better.
My mom's made me think like literally because like they like schools that had a predominantly African American population, like they would get less funding or whatever. Yeah. Like honestly, if it was up to me, I probably would have either went to Rocky River because I always fuck with some people that went to
Rocky River was a good school too. It was It was a good school because it was a newer school. Yeah. So that school at the time where we was in high school, it was getting all the funding.
Yeah, no, seriously. Or maybe Hawthorne because they had like a biology situation going on there. That was pretty. And like, I kind of gave up on wanting to be a doctor because there was once upon where I kind of did want to be a doctor, and then I just gave up on it because it's just like, I didn't get shit about science and everything. I ain't got no science program.
Yeah, I never liked science. I was always like, I majored in marketing. Yeah. So like, I just have an entrepreneur mind.
Same.
That's
marketing.
My thing. Yeah.
I graduated from marketing, business administration. It's just it seems more practical to me. When it comes to
and then with that degree, you can kind of like maneuver it and put it into different industries. Yeah.
Whether if it's health, whether if it's television, just whatever. That's the one thing I like about marketing is that you can literally go anywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Everybody needs marketing.
Everybody needs some type of business. Like
in marketing, you can work in all types of departments. You can work HR. You can do anything.
Literally anything. That's why I went with it for sure. And I mean, even if you're not in your main career job, you can still do other jobs, and they'll bump you up in that position if they needed to be. So like that was really like my plans with that. But it's like, yeah, man, we pretty much spoke about anything. And now we already went over 2 hours. That would have been 2 episodes right there.
Right.
But anyway, hey, an episode's an episode. It is what it is. I got to get back home and everything.
I hear you, man. Hey, man, it was great. It was a great talk.
And I'm going to be in Charlotte for a while. So you want to just like touch up, just do whatever.
Cool. Definitely. We're going to get up. We're going to get together, man. I'm the holidays coming up. My birthday's actually next week.
Oh, yeah, because you're Sagittarius.
Yeah, December 1st. Yeah, next Thursday.
Okay, what you trying to do? What you going to strip club or something like that?
Nah, man. I'm probably just like, just going to chill. Nah, I ain't going to. I'm going to go to the Hornets game on that next Saturday. Yeah, so that will be like my thing. But like,
who we going up against?
The Bucks. So... You're going against Giannis, man.
Now I know why you're going.
The Nigerian nightmare, man. Nigerian nightmare,
freak,
man. They put that name on him. They don't want to rep no African country, so they call him the Greek freak. That nigga is Nigerian.
Nigerian as hell, man. No, seriously, bro. He had his brother on the team. They won the championship.
He got his brother. Yeah, all his brothers play basketball. One of his brothers play overseas, and then another one of his brothers play on the team. And then his other brother, younger brother, plays for the Lakers.
That's cool. That's really, really good. And then it's like freaking on Hornets. They try to get Leangelo on it. Every time they try to get him on, there's some bullshit going on.
Yo, bro.
So, he's on. No, never mind. He's off.
He's off. Right, I'm saying. Damn, bro. Just give him a break, man. Just put him on the team for a couple months.
Let him sit on the bench. And then when somebody gets hurt, just put him in. Like,
right.
Real shit, man. I don't know. Like not even just the Hornets. The Panthers, they all irritate me.
I can't even watch the Panthers game.
Man, 2015 was so long ago. You know what fucked us up 2015?
What?
The halftime show. They should have gotten Drake and Future.
What did we have?
I don't remember. You think I fucking remember?
Oh my god! Yeah.
I don't know.
We should have got Drake and Future. That shit would have been lit.
Yeah, they would have the "What a Time to Be Alive" album out time, bro. Right, yeah. Timeless. There ain't no way we could have lost.
No way we would have.
No way we would have lost, man.
We had Cam. He was dabbing all over the field, man.
He was like a superhero giving footballs to kids and everything.
He was such a beam of light for the city, man.
Bro, no, seriously.
And then he just went downhill.
And then that was it, man. I think he was at my homecoming actually a while ago.
Bro, that just shows you, man. As a black man, as soon as they don't need you, man, they throw you away in the trash.
Nah, man, dude used to take hits. Like as a quarterback, he did a lot more work.
He was carrying. He was definitely carrying.
He was one of the carriers for sure, man. Dabbing and everything, giving footballs to kids and everything. Yo. The freaking showboat.
What a time to be alive, for real.
No, really, watched every game. And no, the best part about that year was going to Krispy Kreme, and everybody was so friendly with each other. You be able like old white niggas talk about like cream cheese donuts. Like what? At what time would a freaking black kid have a full on conversation about cream cheese donut with a random white person, bro? Only that time, but now we really got to sign off for real. But it's like,
all right, man.
For real. From the Mental Threads podcast, you got any last words before we go off?
Nah, man. I just want everybody to be out there. Hope everybody's feeling good. If you're going through something, just try to get closer with God. And I'll leave you guys with this. Just if you're ever having any bad thoughts, just remember, you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are just little things that may pop up, but those do not define you. You know, don't let those overwhelm you, and don't let those make you carry out things that you wouldn't do otherwise. You are not your thoughts. Your thoughts do not define you.
No, I couldn't put it any better, to be honest. No, that's it for the Mental Threats Podcast, episode 136. 14 more episodes to go. We got it. We sewing in, now we're sewing out.